Okay, everyone. So now let's focus on the eyes and the nose and the mouth. Okay. So the eye, I think when a lot of people draw an eye, they do like this general shape like that, kind of like a almond or something. They usually have it pointy on both ends like that, and then something in the iris in the middle, eyeball. And then I know a lot of people do like the eyelashes going up and eyelashes going down. This is not what we're looking for. No, this is not. This is like when you are either trying to stylize or you are not familiar with how to draw an eyeball. So let's get into how to draw an eyeball. Now, as you saw when we were doing the portraits, you know, the horizontal lines always come into play. So when you do an eyeball, you begin with the horizontal line. Okay? It's going to help you see it. Now, I'm going to do an eyeball of right eye. So begin with the tear duct, which is going to begin below the horizontal line. Okay? So you just do the shape here. Then it extends above. The tear duct, do like a little shape there, and then it kind of goes in and then goes up around it for like the base of the eye. Now, while the tear duct was below the eye, the other end of the eye was below the horizontal line, excuse me. The other end of the eye is going to stop above it. So it has it like right there, okay? And then now I'm just going to connect the bottom and bring it over. You see how slow I'm going? Going quick little marks to help. It's like don't rush through it. Now, because we said this is a tear duct, we do have to do like a little half circle there to show that's where our tear ducts come in. The iris, this person was looking straight ahead. So we are going to have them have the eyeball like come down. Usually the iris is going to touch the the bottom of the eyelid. Sometimes it depends on the person, sometimes, and I think my eyes are this way too. Sometimes it doesn't touch. When your head is down and you're looking up, you can definitely see like the bottom of the eyelid. But sometimes people straight ahead, they can see, bottom of the eye, white below the iris. So just draw it in that way. Okay. Now, what's important to remember is the eyeball is round. Okay. So if I brought this up, make like a big circle, we see that like, how it extends beyond our lids. Eyelids are usually lowered. So I'm going to use that circle to help me draw in my eyelid. And then I don't need it anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and delete, or erase it, excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and erase it, and then now get in my eyelid. Okay. I like to do a little line below. And in the eye itself, too, starting from the bottom of the eyelid, it's a very small line that comes out. This is our water line. And that's going to really come into play too when we do our eyelashes, okay? So now we got that in. I'm going to go ahead and erase the horizontal line going through, okay? Our iris is right in the middle of our, our pupil. This is the pupil I just drew it. Right in the middle of our iris. I'm going to do like a little shape. A lot of times when everyone knows that we have like a reflection on our eyeball, but a lot of times people do like a little circle. It's really more like a curvature shape that comes in, like that. You know, look in the mirror. Get real close. Look at your eyeball. See what kind of shape you have for your reflection. Okay? And then now, adding some eyelashes. I do like to add my eyelashes, but, you know, I like to go slow and do one at a time. When you're working away from the, teardrop, then the eyelashes are going away from you, from the eye drop. And then as it gets to the top, the eyelashes kind of go straight up. And then as they come down to the tear duct, it gets much smaller. Okay? And then, just when you get to the line weight variation part, that's when, you'll make some of the lines thicker, some of the eyelashes thicker than other parts. Okay? Now, the tear duct, or the lines below that we drew in, the eyelashes at the bottom are going to come from that outer line, not the inner one. And then they're much smaller, of course. So something like that, okay? Now you have in the general shape of your eyelash, of your eye. I'm going to switch over to a softer pencil and add in some details. First of all, I know my pupil is black because it's just a black hole. And then the outer rim of the iris is dark. Okay. I can draw in like a little variation of small lines coming into going towards the iris to represent, the texture that goes on in our eyes. And then now I'm going to draw from the top of my eyelid. I'm going to make this line thick. And then, shade that in a little bit. Because again, like I said in the previous video, it's going to give us this, the eyelid comes over our eyeball, so it gives a shadow onto our eyeball, okay? You get this type of effect. Now I'm using my finger here to blend it out. Usually you would use like a blending stump. If you don't have those blending stumps, because I don't think we provided it, then you can use Q-tips. Same thing. Okay? So now I have that in. Where the end of where the eyeball ends, you're going to bring like a thicker lining around there as well as where our tear ducts come in. Just kind of thicken that out a little bit. Okay. And then also too, I like to go over the eyelid again to add more definition to it. Alright, that's basically how you draw on your eye. Okay, now that's the eye straight forward. When you're working on your 3/4 view, I'm going to switch back over to my light pencil, my HB. When you're working with your 3/4 view, the eye is still on that horizontal line, but it just kind of changes a little bit. Sometimes you can't see all of the tear duct, so it's not as defined as it is there. And then it just goes out and comes around. It still stops above the line, the horizontal line. And then bring the shape in. It was like that. The eyeball, this person is looking that way. Let me fix this. There we go. So then, there go the iris. Oh yeah, the eyelid. Okay, so it's basically the same setup as the one we just did. I'm going to bring the top of the eye down a little bit because it just wasn't feeling right. Okay, so yeah, it's basically the same setup as the eyeball we just drew, but it's just now mostly the person is looking this way, so the position of the iris changes, okay, as well as the eyelid or the eyeball itself is more rounded towards the where the tear duct is, okay. So now, let's go ahead and focus on the nose. See, like, figure out how we get the nose in there. And now, we're going to do a nose. So when you're doing a nose, this nose is going to be straight ahead at us. When you're doing a nose, it's good to think of it as like having one circle, one big circle, that has two overlapping circles on either side of it. Making sure that those two overlapping circles are about the same size. Okay? So that's the general setup of it. I'm going to draw a little darker. I want to make sure you all see it. Because I know the camera sometimes is light. So basically like that, like a big circle in the middle. This represents the tip of the nose, and then the two circles on either side of the big circle in the middle. Those are our nostrils. So now, going based off of the bottom of that shape we just created with those three circles, you're gonna draw that line in. This part of the circle represents the edge of our nostril, edge of our nose, and then bring it up. Remember I was talking about before, like a parentheses, like that. Between the where the big circle and the one on the right, the circle where they meet, the line underneath that is going to be one of our nostrils, so you can make that a little darker. Following the line over, I'm really just following the shape that it created when I drew the circles together. And then bring it up. And then now you see we have our a basic nose in. Now sometimes when people, and then I'll draw, like this is the area below the nose, and then our cupid's bow of our lips, just so you can get a sense of, what you're looking at and everything. Sometimes people looking straight ahead, you can't really see that much into their nostrils, but noses change, it really depends on the person that you're drawing. Another times you could do it like this, like a pointier tip of the nose, bring it around, and then have a cat walking away. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back. Now, I was saying, with this example, sometimes when you looking at a person straight ahead, you can't really see in their nostrils. Other times the nostrils are more prominent. So you just do like the same general shape, but bring the nostril down a little bit. Do it on the other side as well. Darken it in. And then just bring over those parentheses, if you will, our nostrils. And then this part will be shaded in. And this is our cupid's bow. So that's another way you can do the nose. Okay. Now, when you're doing the nose from a 3/4 view, I showed it in the other video, but since I'm working on noses, I'm gonna go ahead and show it here again. 3/4 views, same thing. You're gonna draw right here. This person is gonna be looking that way to the left. So we have our same, little circle. This is the tip of our nose. Okay. Then I draw from the first circle, draw the tip in. But then on the other side, have the overlapping circle, the one nostril that we can really see. Gonna use that shape to draw in the nostrils. And it'll be going up like this. You can fill it in, just depending on how much of the nostril you want to see. Now, depending on how far over the person is looking, this could be the nose right here. Just the tip of the nose and the nostril. But sometimes, we could get just like a little glimpse of that other nostril. So you just draw it in like that, just much smaller. Again, remember when you're working on 3/4, everything that's away from us is smaller. Just like what we learned in perspective, okay? Closest things to us are big, things farther away are smaller, okay? That's pretty much it for the nose, but now let's get into the mouth, okay? So the mouth, Let's draw it in this area here. If you think about having, let's see, I'm going to begin with a horizontal line again, like we did for the eye. On a horizontal line at the top, I'm going to do like a little circle. And then below the horizontal line, I'm going to do 2 circles. Not overlapping, just so I have like 3 little circles like that. Okay. Then I'm going to use that, let's say if the mouth came out about right here. I'm going to use that to draw in the rest of the mouth. So as I start from drawing in the middle of the mouth first, get that line in. So where the 2 circles meet like that, I'm using that shape to be like the bottom of the top lip. And then just going to bring it over like so. So it's like a wave. Okay. Then making sure like this distance from the circle to the end to circle to the end is the same. So you have a nice symmetrical mouth. Okay. Then I'm going to take the top of that circle and I'm going to go in on it a little bit, because now I'm creating like that V for my Cupid's bow. Then just go over. And then the bottom of the mouth, fix that, there we go. The bottom of the mouth, using those 2 circles that meet at the bottom, I must use that to be like the way the lip dips in at the bottom, and just follow the shape. Okay. So then now, once you get your mouth in, you can create. And then after you practice, everything with drawing is practice, practice, practice. After you practice, you will need to draw in, those shapes to help you out, But until you do, till you got it, use it. It's fine. Then, I'm going to just draw in some lines to show, like, the curvature of the lips and like the line that goes into the lips and everything. Look at your lips. It's so textured. Okay? And I gave this person nice full lips. Obviously, that changes as well, depending on the person. As well as, usually the top lip is darker than the bottom lip. But we do know underneath the bottom lip is a shadow, because it sits above our chin, okay? Excuse me. So that's a general shape for a lip that's straight ahead, a mouth that's straight ahead. If you have a mouth that's on a 3/4 view, let me show you how to draw that in. Beginning with my horizontal line, we'll have the person's head turned that way. Okay. I'm going to draw in my circle at the top. And then I'm going to draw in again 2 circles at the bottom. And now, starting again with the middle of the mouth, I'm going to use a below circle to help get that shape in. And then do my wave, half wave. So I'm going to stop right there. Have that come up. And then, like I did before, the top of the Cupid's bow, have that come over and down to meet the mouth. Same thing for the bottom. We'll use that shape to get in. We'll use the bottom of the two circles to get in the shape of the bottom of the lip. Now, the reason I started just doing the one side, the left side, the right side of it, is because when, again, remember what we already learned, when the head is turned, the things are smallest, further away from us are smaller. So this person, they basically, turn like that. Their head is turned like that. So I have to make what's on this side of the center line, make it smaller. So now I'm just kind of using the circle that's there. I'm going to let that be the shape of the lip, coming around that way. And then overlapping just a little bit, I'm going to bring that shape up to finish out the mouth. Okay? So you can see how the mouth is turned that way. Okay? And so we can see the full lip this way, and then it's cut off. It gets smaller as we look at it that way, okay? Because the head is turned. So that's basically how you would put in a 3/4 view head, a 3/4 view, mouth. So the main thing again, draw your proportions out, measure it. Making sure that your lines are vertical when they need to be, making sure that they're horizontal and they're parallel to each other, main thing, okay? So go slow. And then, just get those measurements in there. Remember, the head is separated into thirds, okay? Remember, when you're looking at your features, this is all general that we did, so you can figure out how to do it. But you need to adjust it so you're looking at your lips. If your lips are not this full, then bring it in. Make a smaller lip, okay? If your eyes are wider, make it a wider eye. It's really all about, that first project that we did when we did the blind contour drawing, and you were forced to really look at what you're drawing. Now that you know how to set it up and you know the proportions of it, what's going to make the drawing more realistic and make it look like you or whoever you're drawing is if you actually get the features in correctly, okay? So go slow, use your measurement, and draw what you see, not what you know. In the next video that I'm providing, it's not the demo that I created, but it's a very great demo that I found that shows about doing line weight variation. So as I want you to put your drawing in, okay? And then for the project that we're working on now called Compose You or Compose Yourself, it's all about line weight variation. The next project we get into, we're going to keep with portraiture and drawing ourselves. Then we'll get it more into shading and different aspects about that. But now it's all about line weight variation, okay? Great.